Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. In today's video, from the scenario of Rovlemhage, we're going to be commanding just one destroyer. The rest of the fleet's going to be commanded by the AI. So this is going to be a very unpredictable battle. But I like the thing that he has set up. They say you are getting too old, and that a cavalry officer never should have been promoted into the Navy. Maybe they're right, but here on the eve of probably the last fight you'll ever get to participate in, you decide to lead with glory and honor. Now, okay, I've been promoted into the Navy as a cavalry officer, and they put me in charge of a destroyer. The rest of the fleet, light cruiser, 2 heavies, battle cruiser and battleship, are going to be commanded by the AI. With that fleet, the AI-ish is going to take on the Italian Empire's 2 battleships, 1 heavy cruiser, 1 light cruiser, 1 destroyer, and even a torpedo boat. Now, there are some win conditions. You lose if your destroyer is sunk before it at least plays a part in sinking another ship. You achieved a Pyrrhic victory if your ship played a part in the sinking of another ship. You will have achieved a victory if you managed to directly sink the enemy destroyer or the PT boat. So I'm going to have to sink this guy or this guy and hope that my other ships don't sink it too soon. You will have achieved a great victory if you manage to torpedo the enemy battleship and it sinks, either through your torpedoes or extra damage from the rest of your fleet. So, first priority, attack the destroyer and or torpedo boat, whichever happen to come into contact first, and then try to torpedo, not necessarily kill, a battleship. The way that he has this set up is that I'm commanding only 1 ship, and I'm going to be having to maneuver between/through my own fleet, picking the right moment for my own attack when I'm only commanding 1 destroyer. And that's the destroyer that I also get to design. Very interesting scenario, and I think that I might do stuff like this more often, where I don't control the whole fleet. But as he wrote it, it's more like you're running a story inside of a bigger battle that's happening. Like you're using the bigger battle as your canvas. Now, Destroyer 1, I don't get a lot of options as far as hulls go, and displacement is still maxed out at 1,000 tons. I'm gonna go with 1,000 tons just because it makes for a pretty decent ship. Let's go with lots of bulkheads. Armor is 1907 Script 2, and propulsion, turbines. That's about as good as I can push my weight displacement down initially. Range is not important. Main tower, we got the advanced 1 or the advanced 2. I'm not sure if it's really worth looking into this too much because it's 3 tons. It's really not that critical, so let's just go with an advanced tower 2. I'm going to put it here so I can put another turret on the bow. I don't yet have any kind of barbettes, so it's not like I'm going to be elevating the main turret anyway. Or, well, the bow turret. Rear towers, we got rear towers 1, 3, 2, and 1. But this is an older rear tower, I think. This one is 28k versus just 15k, and displacement is 7 times that number. That's a pretty heavy tower. And the accuracy bonuses that you get really aren't that good. What? Whoa. I'm not even sure if this tower is supposed to be on this hull. Is that maybe a light cruiser tower? Because on a hull of 790 tons out of 1,000, going with a tower that weighs 70 tons? I mean, that's a hell of a lot more heavy than the advanced tower that I'm currently using, the main tower. In that case, let's just go with this one. Funnels. I'm currently set to do 40 knots, which could allow me to just charge into the enemy battleship, try to make a run for it, and then as I am in close enough range, which will be 6.1 kilometers, I drop torps, I pop smoke, and I run the hell off. In that case, speed and thus engine efficiency would be of the issue, would be of importance. How many funnels is that going to force me to get? Not too many. Not too many at all. This is 135 tonner. If I go for induced boilers. There, now I have 100% engine efficiency. I can upgrade the propeller shafts to give me a bit more turning rate and acceleration. An auxiliary 1 engine. And that's going to give me a turning circle of probably a mere what? Holy shit, 477? That's a bit more than I was hoping for. Because if I'm supposed to skirmish against an enemy destroyer, then I really do not want to do that with a turning circle of 477 meters. It's probably because the ship is so long. We'll just have to shrink it down a bit. There we go, 283. Now up the speed again. I still have to add guns and torpedo tubes, so I cannot just keep adding stuff. I might go with 1 funnel. No, I cannot do that. I need to go with 2 funnels. Let's spread them out a bit so that if a shell impacts here, it doesn't knock out 2 funnels for the price of 1. Okay, turning circle still says 412, but that's at maximum speed. If I'm encountering another destroyer, I'll have to drop speed a bit and make myself a lot more agile. 2.5% more resistance, I don't think it's going to be that useful. 5% torpedo damage blister, not really that useful. If I take a torpedo, I'm pretty much dead. Period. So that requires that, or that means that I also don't need any flooding or anti-flood. Reinforced bulkheads could be useful, because flash fires can be the death of this ship. Now, the guns. I'm fighting a destroyer and a torpedo boat. And some larger ships, which I really don't have the capacity to sink. So ideally, something that has a pretty decent rate of fire. And something that is heavy enough to take on a destroyer. This is 14 tons per turret. Reload 9 seconds, but... reload 8 seconds. These reload in 5.4 seconds. But the damage is 363 versus 545. If I go for Lyddite 2, I can up the high explosive shell damage a lot more. Also decreasing actually the risk of flash fire. Hold up, no, Lyddite 1 is more damaging, but it's also a bit more sensitive. Because this thing has a 60% flash fire chance versus 40. This only has a flash fire chance of 7.5, and Cordite jumps back up to 27. I think white powder might be the better option. It doesn't do as much damage, but it also doesn't do as much damage to my ship in the case that stuff starts to blow up. So that impacts the damage of the ship. Yeah, 228 or 342. We sacrificed quite a bit, but I'd rather have a little bit less damage and more survivability on my ship than the other way around. What if I make a mixed armament? A couple of 4s and a couple of 3s. And then, ideally, port and starboard torpedo tubes. Really? Is there any way that I can fit these things solo? No. Okay. In that case, I have a torpedo tube amidships. Unfortunately, this gun cannot really move that much. Yeah, right. If I'm not mistaken, that thing won't turn. And moreover, I won't be able to get any more guns on the ship. A couple of 3-inch guns. Yeah, I'm going to have to put them amidships to make sure they actually do something. Armor on this ship is going to be non-existent. It's just not worth it. Can I add one more gun? No, I can't. Unless I go bigger. Even then, it's not necessarily... Oh, a guarantee. Yeah, it just makes the ship really long. Turning circle is now 433. 410. So by adding just 50 tons, I add 23 meters to my turning circle. I don't really want to do that. Advanced hydraulics. Oh, there we go. Exactly 850. But I don't have a rangefinder on this ship. I quite like to have a coincidence rangefinder. But that means I'm going to have to sacrifice my hydraulic or advanced hydraulic turrets. As for torpedo size, the best I can do is 18 inch. Really? 0.2 inches of armor belt, 0.3 inches on the turret, and 0.3 inches on the conning tower. I have a total of a mere 4 guns. And I have, what, 6 torps? 6 torpedoes. Totality. So I'm going to have to be really careful when and where I decide to go on the offensive. Propulsion on the torpedoes can be switched to fast, reducing the torpedoes' range to 4, but increasing speed to 42 from probably 37? 32. Still, I think 6 kilometers is safer, because if I die, then the scenario is over. If I want to go for increased reload on the torpedoes, I'm going to have to sacrifice 24 tons somewhere. And actually gain only 2 torps. Never mind, that's not worth it. I guess this is about it. This is about as good as it's going to get. And let's hope that the enemy doesn't wipe me out with a couple of shots from a cruiser. This is the Okikaze. Let's go. Right, starting off, let's hand off all the controls to the AI. This is the Chiyo Dagata. Maximum bulkheads, thank you very kindly. We also have 9-inch wing turrets and 9-inch main turrets. 6-inch secondary. What? Where's your port secondary? I think this is the first time that I've seen the AI only build one on the starboard side. Which would mean that the whole ship is out of balance. Lovely. 2-inch guns and torpedoes. Okay, AI control. Division 2, Battlecruiser Obami. 13-inch guns. That's a significantly greater punch than the battleship with their 9-inch guns. Standard amount of bulkheads. Speed of 23.5. She has a reload on these of almost 45 seconds. 10-inch wing turrets, 8-inch secondary, lots of 6-inch casemates, and a couple of torpedo tubes. Screening force of the heavy cruisers Akanagi and Furutaka. 11-inch guns, 2 per ship, that's all that I have. A couple of 5-inch guns, and then a lot of 3-inch. If the AI plays their cards right, then these things can be very useful at fighting the destroyer or the torpedo boat. But I'd rather they're not, because I need to sink those myself. AI control. Then we have the light cruiser Matsushima. This is a light cruiser with maximum bulkheads, that's a good thing. 6-inch main guns, 1 bow, 1 stern. Few 3-inch casemates and a lot of 2-inch casemates, with a reload of a mere 4 seconds. Propellants Lyddite 2, so this thing could be volatile. Torpedoes all around. AI control. And I'm going to be controlling Division 5, the Okikaze. Now, considering that this ship is so much faster than everybody else, I'm going to have to slow down and make sure that I don't outrun my own group. And the enemy's been spotted to the north. I am a destroyer. I might want to do the scouting, in fact. I guess that's going to be my job. Now, let's take a pretty picture of the Okikaze. Crashing through the waves like that. There we go. The starting range was 14,000 meters, so we're not that far away. We just need to see them, at which point both the battle cruiser and the battle... Well, not the battleship. They might not be in range just yet. How quickly does this thing slow down? Pretty decent. If I start turning, it probably increases. Because I'm creating more water resistance. Yeah, she slows down pretty decent. What if I go back to flank speed? Powering through the turn. Losing a bit of speed while turning. But as we go onto a straight stretch, this thing should rocket back up to 40 knots. There we go. Okay, let's find the enemy. Give our fleet something to shoot at. Again, my objectives. Sink the torpedo boat or the destroyer. And if I want to get a, let's say, more valuable victory. If I want to, what was it called? A great victory? You will have achieved a great victory if you manage to torpedo the enemy battleship and sink it, either through your torpedoes or extra damage from the rest of your fleet. Right. We have already found the battleship, I think. Because the Italians did start with 2 of those. The range is only 8 kilometers, but the ship is bow in. That's not really how I want to start with my torpedo attack. So I'm going to just disengage. Let the rest of my fleet do some damage. And surprisingly, the rest of the fleet from the Italians has not materialized yet. I thought that the destroyer would also be spotting those, but apparently spotting is pretty difficult in this day and age. And they haven't spotted the destroyer yet either, but that probably works both ways. I don't spot their destroyer either. Now, what's my fleet doing? The Ciudadegata is pushing in, sort of, at a range of 10. The heavy cruiser is... Good question. I think it just completely broke formation and is doing its own thing. The battle cruiser is going to potentially collide with the battleship at this rate. And then we have the light cruiser, which is just, well, dragging its ass around at a mere 19 knots. Range 7.7. I'm trying to maneuver into a more favorable position to torpedo that ship. This is interesting, just having one ship under my control. I really have to work around the rest of the fleet. To some extent, it feels a bit more like playing World of Warships, where I really have to keep a close eye on what the rest of my team is doing. And hope that I don't have one of those camping Tirpitses in the back, or Cruiser Curfirsts, or Yamatos with survivability expert. You know, if you play World of Warships, you probably know what I mean. Okay, range 6.8. What can I see visibly on this ship? No casemates. Lots of wing turrets. One secondary. So this ship is potentially very, very vulnerable indeed to torpedo attacks. Because it doesn't have any way to scare me off, short of the main guns. And I'm not sure if she has spotted me yet. Identification 59%. 61. Range 5.5. Now it's time to charge in. Get ready on the smoke. Torpedo. And get the hell out. My character in this particular roleplay might be old, but he's not dead. I can still go on the offensive. Range 4.9. Identification 7.1. The reason why I want to get an identification is I want to know what the turning circle on this ship is. Once I know that, I know what sort of measures I need to take to avoid its chances of getting out of the way. I need to make sure that it doesn't start to torpedo, or doesn't start to avoid my torpedo attack. Looks like the secondaries have now decided to engage me. There goes my battle cruiser. Wait, what? Oh. Yeah, well that says it. That is a serious loss. For two reasons. One, that was the 13-inch firepower. And two, the battleships are now going, hey, what's that little thing coming for us? What's it doing here? And what are we going to do about it? And I think they're going to do something about it with their main armament. Oh no! No, 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 no. That was not part of the plan. Please send the torps. Range 3-4. Smokescreen 4-10. Come on. Regretting my life choices of not bringing any better anti-flooding, because now I probably cannot pump the water out at all. Come on, torpedo tubes. Come on. Torpedo tubes are turning, but damn, they're slow. Oh no, here comes the killing blow. Oh, no, 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 no. Though the second battleship is also opening up now. Torpedoes away. Bye-bye. I'm out of here. But I will never get up to that 40 knots again. We have identification on the battleship. It has a turning circle of 894 meters. So unless this thing pulls off some sort of miracle, it's not going to be able to avoid the torpedoes. Minimum bulkheads. This means that there is hope yet for actually getting a kill, even if they're only 17-inch torpedoes. Speed reduced to 21.5. We're trying to pump out some of the water. But I think we're going to be stuck. No, actually, there we go. 61% buoyancy. What's their chance to hit me? 2.5%. Target fast speed is going to cause penalties, and I should be maneuvering a bit more. Make myself less of an appealing target. Wow, I got rid of all the water? Without an anti-flood? What the hell? There's some serious hosing going on aboard the Okikaze. No. Oh, we're gonna have to do a whole lot more hosing. Get rid of that water. Oh no. This is not gonna go very well. The whole stern of the Okikaze is getting underwater, and I'm not even sure if the torpedoes are going to hit before the Okikaze sinks. Run! Oh, Jesus, I thought that was going to kill me. Well, we're still alive, and it seems like the battleships have switched their fire to the Chiudagata. The torpedo appears to be on course. The battleship has detected it and is trying to avoid, but with a turning circle of 894? Good luck with that. I think I'm just going to get the one hit, but at least the destroyer's still alive. Not by much, but she's still here. And there's the torpedo. Ship starts to flood. Buoyancy drops to 89% and falling. 88. Anti-flood, 1. So they still have the potential to do some damage repair. But I'm not sure if that anti-flood 1 can even out the damage that the ship is taking from all the flooding. Especially without any torpedo bulkheads. Or minimum bulkheads and anti-torpedo 1. Yeah, so we didn't really cover that much. The ship is down to 23. Looks like the rudder's flooding. 17%. Lots of the ship is on fire as well. 16-13. That was a seriously damaging attack from the Okikaze. Are we going to kill this ship? Look at that list on that thing. 4%. 1%. She's gonna go down. Dead. So that is at least my honor restored. I just don't think that I'm going to be around to do another torpedo attack. Structural integrity is not too bad at 62%, but with 37% buoyancy and 3 flooded compartments, my speed is a mere 10 knots. And I'm not sure if I can pump out this much water. Now, technically, I've already won the scenario. But I still want to see if I can get another torpedo attack done. The challenge will be to get into range and lift to tell the tail. And I'm not even sure if I can catch this thing, because it's probably doing, what, 25 knots if it's going at max speed? You used to be able to see how fast it was. There we go, 25.5 is what its current speed is. I'm doing 11. And my rudder is damaged and one of my engines is out. So I'm pretty immobile at this point. And this time around, I'm not seeing them pump out the water. The battleship, however, might just get into torpedo range. In the meanwhile, what's the rest of my fleet doing? Jacques Sheet. Akanagi is 12.5 kilometers removed from the San Gaetano. I'm not even sure what the light cruiser's trying to pull. But a whole lot of nothing. And overall, it looks like it's the battleship which is, well, taking both the brunt of the damage and trying to dish it out, but very unsuccessful at actually dealing any kind of damage. Only 29 points of damage have been done, versus 1200 points of damage received. Crap, that thing is fast. Oh, and there's a smoke screen sitting on 3.5 kilometers away. That means that there's a DD, and it's moving this way. Now, nowhere in the description of the scenario does it say that the rest of the fleet has to survive. I don't have any bearing on what they do, because they're all AI controlled. So really the only thing that I currently need to do is sort of sit around and wait for the rest of the ships to actually start doing something useful. Ideally, take out the lighter ship, so I might be able to make another torpedo run against the battleship, if you want to call 11 knots a run. And hope that my battleship doesn't do anything remotely stupid. And actually gets... well, it might land a torpedo. That's an 18-inch torp. It's only a single one, though. San Gaetano seems to be at full speed. Which means turning is difficult. This torpedo looks remarkably good. It has detected the torp. But... oh, Jesus, really? Just after the stern. Chance to pen for the Chiodagata is a mere 17%. By contrast, if the San Gaetano returns fire, it has a chance to penetrate at 53. And these guys are so fast that the range is increasing. That is pretty bad. I'm going to turn back. Because I don't think my battleship's... oh, we got a hit! The Chio actually landed a second torp. And this one is going to kill. Because the whole bow of the San Gaetano is now flooded. Look at that. That's going to recoup the honor of the Chiodagata. Buoyancy 19%, 20. They're still taking on water. The thing is, this torpedo launcher is almost ready. Torpedo away. With this much flooding and 2 damaged engines, I don't think that the ship's going to be able to avoid that torpedo. Here it is. Dead slow, probably 32. There is one other issue that could cause the torpedo to not hit. And that's that the AI launched the torpedo when the ship was doing full speed. And the ship won't be able to get up to full speed. So the ship could have misestimated the torpedo launch, but it looks good. Yep, it's gonna hit. And that's another flooding hit. But it's a flooding hit on compartments which are already maximum flooded. And now it's the Chiudagata that takes flooding. This is not good. Oh wow, we found a warship. 12 kilometers out. A heavy cruiser is engaging something else. Light cruiser, I think. Because it's capable of generating its own smokescreen. Sangitano. Working on pumping out the water. If the Chiudagata can survive long enough, she might be able to get another torpedo off. And she's also taking small caliber fire from here and here. So I think we found the torpedo boat and the destroyer. This is fascinating to watch. Torpedo almost reloaded. Range 1.8. Torpedo is away. If it hits the Sangitano anywhere behind the bow, it will kill. Anti-flood 2 on this ship. Looks like that might arrive at the point where we need it. Because we just cannot kill off the structural integrity. Yeah, that looks good. Yes. 2 compartments are flooding, and that will sink the Sangitano. Leaving... What did they have? A heavy cruiser, a battle cruiser, a light cruiser, and a destroyer. Wow. They did it. Enemy smoke, northeast. Yeah, well, I'm going to try and link up with my cruisers again. But the cruisers are not even heading into my direction remotely. They're heading away at 28 knots. All I can do is limp after them with my destroyer that sometimes appears to think it's a submarine, judging by how much of the wave, there we go, crashes over the deck. Wow, I did not expect that Chiudagata to survive that. She took a lot of damage. Oh, that's about to get worse. Because there is still a destroyer after her. She's 14 kilometers out. I might be able to get there in an hour. And I might be able to assist with my 4 and 3 inch guns. But this ship just doesn't have line of sight. And doesn't really have enough protection against destroyers in the form of small arms. 2 inch, 6 inch. It's not really going to be enough. Your speed is probably pretty terrible. Ah, we found it. The battleship now has something to shoot at. Her chance to hit is not great, but she immediately decides to throw out another torpedo. Why not? It might just work. If this destroyer is acting stupid, it might just work. But the torpedo or the turning circle of the torpedo, no, of the DD is probably way too good. That thing's gonna spot the torp and go, uh-huh. Hard starboard, and the torpedo misses. Oh, you found another one. Hold up. Which is which? Is this actually the destroyer? Yeah. It's hard to tell. I'm not sure which is which. This thing is riding really high in the water. Is this the torpedo boat or the destroyer? This thing is slightly larger. Oh, this is the torpedo boat, the Altair. And the Altair has taken some damage. My range is still 15 kilometers away. Where's that torpedo? Is that... Yep, that's... No. No, 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 no. Yes. What the hell? In Soviet Russia, battleship torpedo you. But this is Japanese. It is... It's fascinating to see what the hell the AI is doing. They did spot the torpedo, I think. No, they didn't. How did you not see the torpedo? Speaking of, looks like the Altair or Altair might get some revenge in. Oh, be slow, be slow, be slow. No. Holy shit, I didn't know there was a light cruiser around. I was so caught up in watching the battle unfold over there that I was completely oblivious to my own ship getting torpedoed. No! No, 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 no. Yes. Shit. And that's what I get for being utterly... What a battle. That's what I get for being utterly distracted. Oh, this was hilarious. We've seen battleships get torpedoed by battleships. We've seen torpedo boats get torpedoed by battleships. We've seen destroyers get killed off by light cruisers using torpedoes. So yeah, for this scenario, I did win, of sorts, because I achieved the mission, which was to bring a grand victory or great honor by being part of torpedoing a battleship. Doing damage to a battleship, and I think that because of my torpedo struck, the battleship sunk. But then my character on the destroyer might have died because I was completely oblivious and did not see what was happening because I was too caught up in watching the battleship versus destroyer and PT boat fight. Anyway, I hope you guys got a good laugh and or a facepalm out of that, and I'll catch you soon for another video.